Well, folks, it's time to kick it old school. So you can feel cool. Give it to me, baby. Baby. Yeah.
Congratulations on making your way to one of the most random spots on the internet, Pony Keg Sports. I am your moderator, Michael Agent. With me, as always, is a unique panel of third stringers, Joshua Stevens and Tom Schultz. Tim is out today. He's watching his kids while his wife works. They're a very modern couple, as you can tell. Again, we are Pony Keg Sports. Follow us on Twitter at Pony Keg Sports. SoundCloud, give us a follow there too, because then you'll be notified whenever we upload a new episode. Today's main topic is going to be the NFC East, but first, we always like to touch up on some other sports that have been going on while we talk about football mainly. NBA free agency started. Anything cool? Anything big splashes?
Man, people are getting paid. They are getting paid a lot and a lot and a lot of money. Mike, have you ever heard the name DeMar DeRozan?
Mm-mm.
Mike Conley?
Nope.
They are now getting paid more than Stephen Curry and LeBron James.
What?
Yeah.
I feel bad for NFL players just watching this take place. Like, Emmanuel Sanders had a tweet. He's like, I picked the wrong sport. NBA free agency. I'm like, this is terrible.
It's funny because I saw a bunch of tweets out there, and they were going a lot of, well, maybe I should work on my post move. Maybe I should work on the dribble and shot. It's pretty crazy. They are getting paid $35 million. Some of these guys, $35 million a year, or $30 million a year.
A year.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I've seen some of the contracts. I mean, I just strolled through it, so I'd kind of have a idea of what was happening. It was like minimum like 70 million. And in NBA, that's your money.
Yeah, just to give you an idea, DeMar DeRozan signed for a 5-year deal at $139 or $141 million, and that is 5 years for that much money. LeBron James has played for 13 years now, has made only $149 million. He's going to make what LeBron's making in 5 years? That's absolutely bonkers.
That's crazy.
The NBA owners are making crazy money too.
Yeah.
I think they got $32 billion. That's like why everything's going up so much. All the new TV deals. It's insane.
So, Tom, give me one big name guy that made a splash.
Mike Conley, he's got the biggest deal so far. What's that? 5 years, $150 million?
153. Yeah.
And
$153 million.
The same team signed Chandler Parsons to a 4-year, $94.8 million deal. That's just two guys. And Parsons can't stay healthy, and they gave him that type of money.
You know what's crazy is that some of these guys, they are legit bench players. Like Timothy Mozgov. He was on the Cleveland Cavaliers, right? He's the center, and you know how much he played during the playoffs and like towards the end of the season? Like 0 minutes. He didn't play at all. The Lakers signed him a 4-year deal, like $56 million, to do nothing. He did nothing at all year long. Joakim Noah, who's probably going to sign with the New York Knicks.
He did sign.
He did finally sign?
Yep.
Like $78 million.
Yep.
$18 million a year.
Went and joined his old teammate D Rose.
That's absolutely
They're going to be
crazy.
terrible.
They're going to be so bad.
It's going to be a train wreck.
Oh, just wait. You thought Chicago fans were harsh. Who was probably the biggest catch? Like, who's the guy that people wanted the most?
He's still out, Kevin Durant. He's not making his decision till Monday, I think it is, and there's still teams fighting over him.
What are the chances of Dwayne Wade going to Chicago?
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, they talked about that a couple years ago. There's no way it's going to happen.
Do you think he ends his career in Miami?
He should.
I don't think he's going to any other team. I think he's going to re-sign. I think they re-signed Whiteside for a reason, and that's trying to get Dwayne Wade to stay. Yeah.
I kind of hate this. Just basketball right now. Imagine Kevin Durant going to the Warriors. That's one of the teams he'd go to. It'd be ridiculous. It'd be like the best starting lineup ever.
Yeah.
And the NBA would allow it, even though it didn't allow Chris Paul going to the Lakers when they had Kobe and they were trying to set something up there. It's ridiculous.
They are talking about Durant possibly signing with the Clippers too. I just don't understand why NBA teams can basically void a trade if they don't deem it fair. I'm sorry, the teams are agreeing to it. You should be able to let them do it. Just like fantasy football or fantasy basketball. If you want to do the trade, you do the trade. But Durant's talking about going to Clippers. If he goes to the Clippers, that forms a big four, quote unquote.
Oh, yeah.
Because that gives you DeAndre Jordan, gives you Chris Paul, gives you Durant,
Blake Griffin.
That's outrageous. It's not a giant big four, but it's a big four.
Well, in the NBA too, the team that has the best three players is generally your ones that are going to go all the way and win. If you look at, just look through the history of the NBA, that team that had those three guys, they always wind up winning somehow. Sorry, Warriors.
It just sucks. There's no one in the East. No one's going to the East. So next year the Cavs are going to be in the Eastern Conference or the finals. And then if Durant goes to the Warriors, it'll be the Warriors versus the Cavs again. You already know the outcome.
Yeah,
kind of sucks.
That's my biggest problem with the NBA is you can completely tell who. One, there's only a handful of teams that actually have real success, right? You have like the Bulls for 6 years went to the playoffs, but you knew they had one window until Rose blew out his ACL that year. You always know who's going to go to the finals. You can look at the beginning of the season and go, yeah, those two teams. They're the ones that are going to make it all the way there. Maybe 3-4 teams you have in your pool.
That's what normally happens.
Yeah. That's my biggest problem with the NBA. That's why, I don't know what they do to fix that, but holy shit, are these guys getting paid?
Oh, they're getting money.
I'm jealous.
Yeah.
Football players should not be happy right now.
They're all doing that Shane O'Mac dance. Here comes the money.
Here comes, yeah. I saw that gif. That was funny. All right, so let's move on to another big contract. This week, Andrew Luck got re-signed for 6 years, 140 total million, 87 guaranteed. Tom, you're wearing an Andrew Luck jersey right now. So what we're going to do is, obviously, you're pro Andrew Luck. Josh, we're going to play devil's advocate. I don't care what your real feelings are, but you have to hate the contract.
Oh, I hate it.
Go.
Do you really hate it?
No. Yes and no.
This is devil's advocate. You have to hate it.
There's parts of it where I hate it, so I'll explain.
In all honesty, I love the deal. I'm glad they're not going to allow their franchise to be taken over like the whole Von Miller situation in Denver. They just got it done. It's taken care of. He's locked up till 2021. It is the biggest contract in NFL history, but it's extremely team friendly. They the first 3 years averages out to about 25 mil, and then it drops to 21.6 million, and the cap should probably be 20 million higher then.
Oh yeah.
So they're going to be allowed to re-sign guys, and they pretty much got most of their O-line all locked up. They're still working on their defense, but they're going to have the money to re-sign those guys. That's the huge issue.
Wait a second. The Colts have a defense?
Shut up. all this hate. Like, Matt Hasselbeck was their starting quarterback for more than half the year, and they're 8-8. That's still pretty decent. They were winning games with Matt Hasselbeck.
Yeah, and that brings me to my point. How do you give a guy a huge contract like that, and he didn't even play most of the season? That's outrageous. You're going to sign him to a huge contract extension or a new deal and give him all that money when he didn't play last year. That's what I don't get.
What did he do his first 3 seasons?
Yeah,
in 2014, led the league in passing yards, had 40 touchdowns passing, had 3 rushing touchdowns. It's an awesome year. Led his team to the AFC title game.
I think what they should have done is let him play again this year. If he comes back healthy, then give him a big deal. I think, was he up on his contract? He wasn't up, right?
It was his 5th year of his rookie deal, so that was 16 mil, and that's part of this contract.
But he could have played this year out, right?
Yeah.
I think they should have just played this year out, see how it went, then off from the new contract. I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he was going to stay regardless if they offered him an extension or a new deal. Was it a new deal or an extension?
It's an extension.
It's an extension.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's what I think they should have done. Let him play out in the last year, prove that he's healthy, and then pay him his money. Then you could have paid him the extra money with the cap rising up. You could have paid him a little bit more too, if it was really worth it.
But just imagine you're in his shoes and you're waiting to get your deal. Don't you think that's going to be on your mind a lot?
Oh, yeah. If I didn't play all season and they offered me a shit ton of money, I'd be like, yeah, pay me.
I don't think it was on his mind because he was getting commercial money. That guy is rich just from the commercial money that he's getting.
That's true, but
here's a little pinch of luck for you, you know?
I don't care who you are. If you're waiting to get your contract, that's going to be on your mind. You're going to be getting phone calls about it, meetings. It's all over now. All he has to focus on now is football. And that's what he needs to do.
But the Colts could have said, all right, Andrew, we're going to have you play out this year. Prove to us that you're healthy, and we'll prove to you that we're committed. And then they come out with an even bigger deal than what they offered him because the cap's going to raise. They could have done that, right?
That'd be crappy for their team, though. Imagine he throws for 5,000 yards this year and 45 touchdowns. He could easily do that, in all honesty.
The last year that he was healthy, he threw 40 touchdowns.
Yeah. So they got it done now. It's a team-friendly deal, and I think it's Andrew kind of being like how Tom Brady is. He really doesn't care about the money, doesn't need it. Tom Brady takes less than a lot of the quarterbacks in the league. He wants his team to be successful. He wants Super Bowl rings. That's plain and simple. That's why they signed him.
How mad, though, do you think he is that he's making less money than Mike Conley from the Grizzlies? Mike Conley is a very well-known player to some people if you follow basketball, but to some people you're like, Mike Conley, who the hell is that guy? So he's making less money a year than he is.
So just to give Indy some hope, if Andrew Luck does go down again, you guys got the Green Bay Packers backup quarterback Scott Tolzien. He has a awesome touchdown. Go look at his highlight reel. He only played a couple of games in Green Bay, but he had one where he scrambles and scores a running touchdown and dives in the end zone like Marshawn Lynch. It was awesome. So, but let me ask you guys one more question before we move on. Does Andrew Luck, if he would have been picked number 2 in the 2012 draft and ended up on the Redskins, would he be as successful today, or would RG is he a product of his system, or is he actually that good?
I think he'd be fine there.
Josh, you can come off of devil's advocate now.
I think he'd be fine there. I think the Redskin team was better than the Colts team. Like
Back
RG3 back then, RG3, he was good. Mike Shanahan kind of set the system up for him, but it kind of led to his disaster. He was running the ball all over, getting freaking demolished. The Colts were 2-14 the year before Luck got there. Then they went to 11-5, made the playoffs, and I just think Luck's more well-rounded quarterback than RG3 ever was, and probably ever will be.
Yeah, what I think would have happened is if Luck went to the Redskins, it would have been okay, but I don't think it would have been great to start off. I think they would have, went from where they were at to a little bit better, to a little bit better, to a little bit better, one after another each season. Now, if RG3 went to the Colts, I honestly think they would have went from 2-14, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To maybe 6 wins that next year.
Yeah, imagine RG3 on a team that couldn't run the ball.
Yeah.
His rookie year, Alfred Morris broke out, had 1,600 rushing yards.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If Luck ever has that, he's gonna be amazing.
Yeah,
they probably never will, but
that's the biggest thing with Luck. He needs that running game, and I mean Frank Gore, he's great. I mean, he's past his prime. He's 33 years old. It's time to move on. I know they like that one kid, Freeman or whatever.
Josh Ferguson.
They like him a lot. I mean, is he the answer? I doubt it, but they need to run the ball.
Yeah,
they're waiting until next year. That running back.
That's what I was about to say. Is
crazy.
I think what the Colts did was plug and play. They looked ahead and went, okay, we can get Frank Gore for a couple of years. Bring a kid, because Frank Gore's contract goes till next year.
Yeah.
So they'll bring in an actual replacement running back for the future of the franchise. Because even that Josh Ferguson guy that you said, he's number 5 on their depth chart right now.
He's a scat back. He's going to be a third down
pass
catching dude.
So
I got one more awesome stat to bring up. Russell Wilson and Luck kind of get talked about together. They're in the same draft class, and everyone says how great Russell Wilson is. So, in his career, when his defense has given up more than 24 points, he's 3-15.
Russell Wilson is?
Yes.
Okay.
So what's that tell you? That his defense has been freaking amazing. Because they've done it 18 and 74 games.
Do you have the same stat for Luck?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's 13 and 18 in those games.
So wait a second.
And it's
Andrew Luck has 18 games where that he's in 4 years that
31 games, but he's won 13 times. But that's in 61 games. So 31 of 61 games, his team has given up more than 24 points.
and again
Luck does more with his shitty team than Russell Wilson could.
Again, I want to ask the question. So Indianapolis has a defense?
They're not very good. They're not very good.
All right, so let's move on. We're going to go to the big picture, the NFC East, of course. But first, we always like to go over individual players that we think might break out, might bust. I want to start with a great draft pick. I have one, if you guys don't mind if I go first.
No, go ahead.
You go ahead.
All right.
Wait.
As long as you don't take my guy.
Well, yeah, don't take my guy. If you are, get the fuck out of here.
I'll let you guys go first.
No, you can go first. Go ahead.
I think
That was my guy.
that's your guy. Rookie wide receiver going to the Redskins. Josh Doxson.
Love it.
Great add to that team. If his other wide receiver core can stay healthy, he will have one-on-one coverage. And if the guy can pick up the game, it's hard for rookies. I'm not saying add him to your fantasy team right away, but as far as a pick to one of these teams, I mean, obviously you can go with something silly like Carson Wentz or something like that, but he's a great pickup for this team. Watch again. Go look at some of his college play. You'll be completely amazed, and if you have a dynasty league in fantasy, grab him.
He's perfect because D-Jax is probably going to be gone next year in Washington. Pierre Garcon's probably gone. He's going to be the guy, and they're probably going to keep Cousins around. I like the matchup right there.
They made this pick because they are hoping and expecting Garcon and Deshaun Jackson, one of them or both, to be gone. So I think it was great.
I think Garcon's gone. I think D-Jax was.
He's old.
Yeah, but he's still got the legs, man. Still got the legs.
I just can't stand him.
Nah, he's
French.
a shitty. Yeah, he's
Freedom fries, baby.
Who do you have, Tom? Who's good? Who's a great draft pick?
This one's easy. It's Zeke Elliott. Oh,
I guess I should go over. Sorry for the listeners. Normally I say this first. The NFC East consists of the Cowboys, the Giants, the Eagles, and the Redskins.
So he's going to be running behind the Great Wall of Dallas. Like, their O-line's amazing. They made Run DMC look good. Darren McFadden's garbage. He broke his forearm, whatever he was doing, picking up his poodle, or whatever he said he was doing. He's been durable at Ohio State. Kind of the perfect build for running back. 6 foot, 220 pounds.
Oh, yeah.
Just solid little ball of muscle. Great vision. Could run in any kind of scheme. He's going to be phenomenal. And he's going to help Dallas a tremendous amount.
I mean, I totally agree with everything that you just said. What happens, though, when he can't wear his midriff?
He's going to pull it up and get fined.
He's going to pull it up every game and get fined each time?
I hope so.
Maybe flagged?
Is it weird I like when he does it? When he did it at the draft, I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah, no, I
Everyone was
love that.
booing him.
No, I think you got to have your own little personality thing.
Yeah.
And that's your thing. Dude, what did he say? I have a six-pack, so I have to show it or something like, down that line. Like, dude, do your thing. Like, but when you have your rookie deal and you're getting fined $30,000 a game for doing it,
it adds up.
Yeah, he'll change his attitude a little bit when that starts adding up.
Someone in Dallas will sponsor him.
He'll do it in pregame or something. Because even Eddie Lacy has a Hulk Under Armour.
Yeah,
and he shows that off during the pregame stuff. So, Josh, you got a guy?
Yeah, I guess I got one. I could easily go with either one of the two that you guys stated, but I am going to go with wide receiver Sterling Shepard on the Giants. Now, this guy is coming to the team automatically going to be the number 2 wide receiver. There's nobody else on that team. Ruben Randall's gone.
Well,
he's on the Eagles.
You do have Victor Cruz.
Yeah.
Good joke, Mike.
Yeah, if you're going to rely on Victor Cruz, there's issues, Kevin. No, but the thing is, there's no number 2 wide receiver on that team. They don't even have that great of a tight end. Larry Donnell, I mean, he's good, but Last year he kind of took a step back, so he's really going to be that guy where they're going to rely on. So that's a great situation for him to go into.
Yeah, OBJ is going to get all the attention, probably double coverage every play,
And he can beat
bracket
it.
coverage.
Yeah, he can beat it. That's what's great. I mean, everybody knows he's going to get the. We'll go into his stats a little bit more, but like he's getting the ball, and it's just like Antonio Brown. He's just going to get the ball.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You can't stop him. So we were going with great draft picks. I'm going to switch it up. We'll go to who is going to be a big bust in the NFC East. Someone that got picked up, free agent, whatever.
Mike, you're not going to like this. I'm going to go with tight end Jordan Reed of the Washington football team.
Okay. So everybody knows we have a dynasty league that we're all in, and Jordan Reed, I'm actually keeping him. Normally I never keep tight ends, but the guy blew up last year.
Like I love the player. He's had like 38 concussions. His knee's been messed up multiple times. 2003, he only he missed 9 games. 2014, 5. Last year, 2. So maybe he's trending up where he's found a way to stay healthy. But he's being drafted in the 3rd round in leagues. There's no way I would do that with the injury risk he has at a tight end.
No, I love Jordan Reed. I think I had him on my team 2 out of 3 years or so. But he gets hurt so often, so many times. It's just, I feel bad for the guy because he's got all the talent in the world, but he gets hurt, and he was quarterback in college, right?
Yeah.
Quarterback in college, transitioning to a tight end, that is extremely tough when you're going to take all the hits across the middle.
He reminds me of like a non-gangbanger Aaron Hernandez, like wanting to shoot people. Like same build, can run like every route. More of a receiver than tight end, doesn't block too much.
What I see with him, watching him, especially this year as closely as I did, is a guy that's actually learning the game and learning how to avoid those giant hits. He catch the ball and he'd duck right away.
Yeah.
And he had a quarterback too that was also helping protect him. If you look what Kirk Cousins was doing, is he was throwing the ball deep and away from the defense, or not deep, I'm sorry, low and away. So he would also help avoid those giant hits.
Yeah, the quarterback might be helping him. RG3 wasn't very accurate.
No.
He was getting him killed all the time. So maybe that's a huge part of it, but just where his ADP is right now, I will not have him on any fantasy team.
I wouldn't take him in the 3rd round. Yeah. Our dynasty league, we get to keep 5 people, so a 5th round pick for him, I figured that's a good great.
Deal. Yeah.
Where would you put him at tight end rankings? Would you put him top 3?
If you could guarantee he's not going to get hurt, 2nd.
Ooh, 2nd.
Well, all right.
But
yeah, I have him in the top 5.
Yeah. Like, I like him a lot. Like, it's him, Greg Olsen, and Gronk is my top 3. I think Gronk's kind of on his own tier, but I think Jordan Reed outscored Gronk average per game last year, but he played 2 less games. But
yeah,
that kind of shows you the type of player he is, and he carried a lot of teams last year.
Yeah, I agree.
Josh, you got a bust?
My bust is going to be the combination of Carson Wentz and Bradford.
Ooh,
yeah,
nice.
The biggest thing with them is that Bradford is going to be the one starting. Wentz is the one waiting in the wings. Their average draft position is not going to be super high because they really have no one to throw the ball to, and they have no running game. When you're starting running back as Ryan Matthews, I could have even said Ryan Matthews if I wanted.
You don't like Ryan Matthews?
No, dude, get the hell out of
No.
here.
Come on,
Are
guys.
you serious right now?
No.
But when you have a lot of problems on that offensive side of the ball, and like I said, their ADP is not going to be super high, but at the same time, they should not even be drafted, either one of them. Wentz, if you have a dynasty league, and if you keep 2 quarterbacks or whatever, then I agree, but definitely should not even be drafted, and I think they're going to have terrible years.
Yeah, I don't. When I started doing my notes for everybody, I went to the Eagles. I wrote down 2 quarterbacks and said who's going to start. Didn't even write their stats. It was like, this team's, they're rebuilding.
Basically, when I say those 2, it all falls in the same category of everybody on that team. Ruben Randall, Jordan Matthews, I think they're all going to have bad years.
Yeah.
So I would not even touch an Eagle player besides one.
So I got a quick bust. He was a free agent ad on the defensive side for the Redskins. Josh Norman.
Love it.
Not going to go too much into it because it's hard to give defensive stats, but he, I truly believe, was a product of his great linebacking core, great front from the Panthers. He's going to have a harder time in Washington, and he's going to get exposed a little bit more.
In Washington, they play press man coverage. He barely ever did that.
He didn't have
in
to.
Carolina.
Yeah.
He's bragging how he's going to be able to be a playmaker like you were last year, dude. Yeah. And I do not like it. When him and OBJ lined up man coverage, OBJ tore him up. He was averaging like 29 yards a catch in that crazy game they had. Now he's got to face him twice. If
OBJ would have kept his head a little bit more instead of playing that, because Josh Norman, what he does is he gets in your head and gets you pissed off.
Oh yeah.
If he would have kept his head and not started those stupid fights, it would have been a much better game, because it would have come back to, oh, you had 6 catches that game and 2 touchdowns, or
And I think the big thing is too, everybody thinks Norman is super young. He's 31.
Yeah, he's
31 years old. Everybody thinks he's like a 24, 25-year-old kid. He's older. There's a reason why he's been doing a little bit better. He's never been that breakout star before. So, I don't know. I don't see him doing the same thing in Washington.
Congratulations on wasting your money, Washington. So we have now a breakout player. Someone, and I guess, Tom, you could say Elliott again, but don't give me somebody that, like, Jordan Reed is going to be a breakout player, even though, Tom, you're notorious for this.
I've never done that.
I'll let you sit on it. Josh, what do you have for a breakout player?
Not including rookies, just whoever?
You can do whoever you want, yeah. Free agent, tight end that's been on
you can't do a kicker.
Years.
Why can't I do a kicker?
Come on.
All right, breakout player. Even though he had a breakout year last year, I'm going Kirk Cousins.
Okay.
Yeah. I like it.
He had a good year last year. He had 4,100 yards, 29 TDs, 11 interceptions, 5 rushing touchdowns. I think for only 46 yards, but still 5 rushing touchdowns.
Took advantage when he could.
Yeah, it's crazy. He's got so many offensive weapons, and he can throw the ball to anybody. They have Josh Doxson, they got Pierre Garçon, Deshaun Jackson, Jamie Crowder, Jordan Reed, the other tight end that they have too. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. And then now they have Matt Jones signed as their starting running back. The cool thing is with Matt Jones, he is more of a receiving running back.
Yes.
I think that's what they're going to transition to for the most part. I don't think they're going to want to actually run the ball that much. They want to spread that field 4 wide, put your tight end out there maybe a couple times. Right, if there's nobody coming across the middle and you can't do anything, dump off pass to Matt Jones, be done with it. So that's what I think is going to end up happening. I think he's going to – I could honestly see him hit 4,700 yards, even 5,000. I mean, it's crazy. He could have 40 touchdowns this year. He could have like an Andrew Luck type season a couple years ago.
Dang, that's a lot to say for Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
I like him.
You like that? Yeah. You like that? Tom, what do you got for a breakout player?
Well, Matt Jones is who I got. So it kind of fits in perfectly.
That's crazy.
I think Washington, just like Josh says, they're going to use the pass to kind of set up the run, a lot of short passes, and Jones going to benefit from that. Last year, he had a couple good games where he broke out when Morris was hurt, but he had a fumbling issue, but he will be the guy this year. And then, like fantasy, what gets you points for running backs is touches, and he's going to get a lot of the touches. He'll probably average over 15, 16 a game. Doesn't really have that much competition as an actual bell cow guy.
The good thing is they did not sign a backup running back at all, really.
They drafted one in the 7th,
Keith Marshall. Although that guy's fast as hell.
Yeah.
He runs like a 4.3 140. He's a fucking monster, even though he just tore his ACL last year, but he's still so fast.
97 speed in Madden.
That's crazy.
What? He's like a 60. But still. He's going to be a freak. But, yeah, Matt Jones, I think he has all the talent in the world. He's a bigger dude. I think 5'10", 230 or something like that, but good hands. Needs to work on his blocking a little bit, but he's going to be the guy there.
Any hidden gems that you guys can see inside the NFC East?
I don't know if it's a hidden gem, but Eli Manning's being underdrafted right now.
I agree.
He's, like, going number 11, and I'd take him over Big Ben, in all honesty.
If you look at Eli's numbers,
they're insane, especially the last 2 years. He's averaging like 4,400 yards and 33 touchdowns with Ben McAdoo as his offensive coordinator. Now that's his coach.
I think the media plays his interceptions too much.
He doesn't even I think last year he had 14.
14, right.
That's not terrible.
But when I was watching highlights and everything, like during the Giants games, it was like, oh, Eli threw another interception. Like, oh, dang, that guy's throwing a shit ton of those.
But the thing is, he could throw so many interceptions because he's throwing so many touchdowns after that and gaining so many yards.
I always have the Brett Favre rule. You have to throw 2 touchdowns before you can throw an interception. And he does it, or at least 2 touchdowns to every 1 interception, and that's what Eli does.
I'm going to have Eli in a lot of leagues this year. Like, I have him as like a top 6 quarterback. He's going 11. I think it's absolutely insane.
Yeah, and you think everyone's talking up OBJ. Who do you think's throwing him the ball, guys? But Josh, you got a hidden gem?
I really like the idea of Paul Perkins. I'm going to lean on a rookie running back here. On the Giants, Paul Perkins, drafted I think in like the 5th round or something like that. They've relied so much on Rashard Jennings and the other guy, I can't remember his name.
Not worth it.
They got Vereen as like their 3rd down.
Yeah. So at this point in time, they drafted a running back. He's getting a lot of praise in camp right now. I love that pick that they made, and I think he could do something. Once they realize Jennings is not the guy, because I'm pretty sure he's like 31 or 32 now. Once they realize he's not the guy, Vereen can't carry the load. Andre Williams, that's it.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And he's nothing. So they got to give the ball to somebody.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, the one guy at the end of the year, he was getting all the carries. So I think he's going to be the one that gets all the carries at the end, or maybe even the middle of the season, and maybe they'll do a couple check down passes here and there to him, and I think he'll be the one carrying the load. So I actually like that pick that they made. I think he'll have a pretty decent year, starting in the middle of the season.
Yeah, I don't think he does anything great, but he does everything pretty good.
Yeah.
And that can be enough to get the job, Maybe. Especially with that passing offense. No one's going to be stacking the box against the Giants. There's no way. So he's going to have running lanes.
All right, so let's go and dive into the NFC East. We always like to go by standing from last season. The winners of the division last year were the Redskins. They went 9-7. I guess the only question I had for them off the get-go is Kirk Cousins going to be good enough to carry the team? Obviously, you don't want to stay at 9-7. Can they get better with Kirk Cousins under the helm?
Oh, yeah, because they're going to go 12-4.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, I got them beating some people this year.
You really think there'll be 12-4?
Yeah, I actually just had 11-5 written down, but I felt so good about it. I just changed it to 12-4.
After we were talking about it.
I was like, oh, Kirk Cousins, here we go. Change that.
They have a crazy amount of offensive weapons. Like with Jordan Reed, D-Jax is underrated. Pierre Garçon's decent. Love Josh Doxson. I see him having 10 touchdowns this year. Matt Jones. But I think Josh Norman is going to be such a disappointment. It's going to hurt their defense. They do press man coverage.
Yeah, and as much as I agree,
not going to be able to do it.
I totally agree with you. He's going to suffer on that defensive side. I totally agree. But the thing is, they're going to score so many points on the offense. Doesn't matter at that point in time for the defense. Let them put up 50 points a game. They're going to put up so many numbers. It's going to be outrageous.
Okay, Josh. So Cousins last year had 4,166 yards, 29 touchdowns. What are his numbers this year?
I got him at 47. I'm going to go 32.
Okay. All right.
And I'm going to go probably, we'll say, 12 interceptions.
12 interceptions? Yeah. He had 11 last year.
He's going to be your quarterback this year, isn't he? That's what you're going for.
He's
He's being drafted outside the top 12. So
fantastic. I'll
perfect
take
candidate for it.
Luckily, I like to take my quarterbacks in round like 14 and 15.
Tom, do you think Deshaun Jackson will be able to stay healthy the entire year?
He'll probably miss a couple games. He's a total boomer bust player, in all honesty. Games will have 2 catches for 20 yards, but then he'll have a 3-catch, 150-yard game. But that's just what makes him so valuable to the Redskins. He's going to blow the top off every defense he faces. He hasn't lost a step like Mike Wallace. Idiot.
Yeah. Who's he on? Who's Mike Wallace with now?
Baltimore.
Baltimore, yeah. Oh, that's a great team to be on right now.
He said he's slow now, so.
Well, yeah, he's got to take whatever money he can get.
Oh, yeah.
And Baltimore's just a...
Oh, yeah, it's not NBA money.
They're crumbling.
You can't get any kind of money.
So for the people that may have just skipped straight to the NFC talk, Josh, give me the rundown of their running back again.
For the Redskins?
Yeah.
You got Matt Jones. They just signed, or they drafted Keith Marshall, I believe 5th or 7th round or something. 7th round.
Yeah.
Super fast, smaller scat back type guy, but he played at Georgia. He was behind Gurley, I believe, right?
Yeah, and Nick Chubb.
And Nick Chubb.
Kind of a bad. He shouldn't have went to Georgia.
Yeah, should not have went to Georgia. But other than that, honestly, they got Thompson still from last year.
He's a scat back too.
And he's a scat back type guy, and that's honestly pretty much all they have. They don't have an Alfred Morris who could take the load, if like Matt Jones is not doing well. They really don't have anybody else besides those three. There's maybe one other guy, but it's not even worth mentioning. Other than that, it's really about all they have at running back.
Yeah, none of the other defenses really scare me in the NFC East, so the Redskins are going to put up a bunch of points.
Yeah.
You got that right.
Yeah, I just look over the defensive that the NFC East has. Obviously they play 6 games between these teams. The Cowboys have the only team that has a half decent defense if they can keep their players healthy.
And they're not because they keep getting suspended.
That Sean Lee's another guy that last year was the first time he ever played a full season.
Yeah.
And I'm amazed after 2 ACL tears that he looked as good as he still does. I mean, it's fast. After 2 ACLs in a row, that's incredible. Anything else you guys want to touch on the Redskins?
I love their one pick, Asua Cravens. He's kind of a hybrid player, which the NFL seems to be going to. He could play safety or like a dime linebacker or linebacker. Kind of smaller, like 6 foot, 220. Great tackler, playmaker. A lot of people say he reminds them of Troy Polamalu. Went to USC, and they called him like the next generation of Polamalu.
Well, I totally agree because he reminds me a lot of a Tyrann Mathieu.
Okay.
And in my opinion, Troy Polamalu and him are pretty much exactly the same. And that was one guy that I had written down. But another guy that I had written down here was Kendall Fuller. Now,
yeah.
Now, the thing is with Kendall Fuller, I don't think he's the best athlete, but he's going to be a corner. He's pretty decent. He's not great. He's not terrible. He's like in the middle of the pack. He's got decent size. But what he does have is the NFL pedigree. He's got brothers Corey Fuller, Kyle Fuller, and his brother who just got drafted again this year with him, Will Fuller, for the Texans, wide receiver. So his family got the NFL pedigree. He does have talent. Do I think he's that great? No, but it's a person that intrigues me a lot.
He was supposed to be a first-round pick this year, and then he got hurt. And Kyle said Kendall's the best
of the
Fuller.
family.
Yeah, so yeah, he's not very fast, more of a zone cornerback, but they got a steal in the 3rd round with him.
It's disgusting that you have. It's like the Eli. What's their dad's name?
Archie.
Like I
He's
have
got the quarterback
I have 2
gene.
Super Bowl son quarterbacks. Like, ugh.
Well, and the sad thing is the brother that was the best one was the one that didn't even go to the pros because he was sick or whatever.
I think he hurt his neck.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, he was a receiver.
Yeah.
When Peyton was a freshman, he was throwing him touchdown passes. It's pretty funny.
All right, so let's move on to the Eagles. They went, they went 7-9. As I stated earlier in this Pony Keg Sports podcast, I wrote down Sam Bradford or Carson Wentz, and I stopped writing. This team, I looked at their depth chart. I was not impressed. I didn't see anybody that they drafted in my notes that I even cared about. Do they go straight to the bottom? I know we're going to talk about standings, but I mean they finished 2nd place with a weird year last year.
Yeah, division, it was kind of nuts last year.
Yeah, because they beat
Cowboys
yeah.
fell from grace, and I think they might have definitely the worst quarterback in the division of the NFC East.
Is it Sam Bradford or
that's who's going to start? He's the worst starting quarterback in the NFC East. Wentz will be the worst starting quarterback in the NFC East.
Yeah.
With me, it's their new coach, Doug Peterson. Comes from the Andy Reid pedigree. You kind of see what he's been doing in Kansas City. They're going to run the ball a lot. They're going to try to play good defense. Like kind of keep it simple, stupid is the method they're trying to use. Their defense is all right. They traded Kiko Alonso and Byron Maxwell. They re-signed a bunch of their own guys. Their draft kind of sucked. They had to trade everything to get Wentz, which I understand if you think he's going to be that good of a quarterback to do that, but they're going to suck this year.
I just don't understand. You get Bradford, then you sign Chase Daniel to a big deal.
That's what I don't get either.
He's the highest paid backup right now. Like, it's outrageous the amount of money he's getting. And then you trade everything that you have to get Wentz. It blows my mind. I don't understand what they were doing.
It was kind of like a whoopsie.
Yeah.
I didn't see this coming. Oops.
Why would they do that? I thought for sure they'd try to get rid of Bradford. They probably tried to trade him.
Yeah.
No one really wanted him
there
for
was
that
big
money.
rumors that even Bradford wanted out. But I honestly don't think the Eagles wanted to get rid of him because the Eagles want him to start for at least 6 games before they could put Wentz in, and then you trade him to a team that's desperate at that point in time.
The running back situation kind of sucks. Ryan Matthews, Wendell Smallwood, and Darren Sproles.
Who's the running back to own in that trio?
Sproles.
I'm going Smallwood.
I don't know. Matthews' asking price is pretty steep right now. I think he could be decent. He wasn't bad last year. He only had limited touches, but was averaging over 5 yards a carry. And the Chip Kelly system is going to be a little different now, obviously. But he gets hurt all the time.
Yeah, I don't think he can carry the load.
He's fragile.
Yeah.
That's why I like Darren Sproles because he's the guy. Even though he's this small little dude, he can pass block. So they put him in on third downs, and then he catches a ball, and then those tiny little roadrunner legs just.
He's nuts.
Yeah.
They were trying to trade him during the draft.
I would love to see him go to Green Bay. Give me chills.
Yeah, I was hoping you'd go to Indy, but
yeah, you little dude, like he can pass. The thing about him is he can pass block.
Yep,
it's crazy.
Little 5'4", 200-pound dude.
The roadrunner legs. He takes off, and then you see the cloud of dust. That's still the silhouette of him. Josh, you got anything else to say about the Eagles?
The only running back to own is Smallwood. That's it. I mean, he's the only player I would ever own on that team.
If you had a flex, would you put Darren Sproles in there?
No, Smallwood's the one to own.
Like a PPR 14-man league, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, 16-man deep league, return yards. Yeah, I'll own him.
How many games do you guys think Wentz is going to play this year? Any?
10.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have him going in after week 6, so he'll get 10 games.
No, I got Bradford playing, like you said, at least 6 games, but then I think Chase Daniel will probably play, and I think Wentz is only going to play like max 3 games.
They're not going to. They did all this to acquire this guy, and they're just going to sit him.
Yep. I honestly think that's what they're going to do.
This is what more teams should do.
Yeah.
I really don't think any quarterback drafted this year is ready to play.
No, especially.
I think it was a terrible draft class for quarterbacks.
Oh,
but
well,
everyone's so desperate.
I think Jared Goff will transition into it, but
they're saying he's terrible right now.
He needs time. That's the thing, is he's coming from a spread where he gets a number that's his play.
Yeah.
To an NFL system where he actually has a not a check down, but number 1, number 2.
Yeah.
And he's not ready for that. He's not.
Whole different ball game in the NFL.
Yep. But you look at Aaron Rodgers, he did it, but he also had 3 years on the bench. So you just got to get Jared Goff some time. Carson Wentz, I know he was an under the center college team.
They ran pro style, but that was also D3.
Right. And that's that's like the German dude on the Vikings. Like, okay, cool, you beat up a bunch of high schoolers in Germany, but now you're coming to the NFL. Let's see what you can actually do.
You still beat him up, though.
I hope he does awesome.
Oh,
It would be cool.
Love his name.
I can't.
I don't even know how to pronounce it.
I'm not going to even.
Like Bowringer or something.
Yeah, I'm not even
Mark Bowringer.
So let's move on to the Giants. They finished 1 game back from the Eagles. They finished at 6-10. They have, obviously, we talked about Eli Manning. We talked about OBJ, Victor Cruz. They brought in a rookie. I would like to focus on them to start off with because we know they can score points, but can they stop people from scoring points on them?
They just spent a ton of money in free agency. They better stop people. This kind of reminds me of when the Eagles had the dream team It was like probably 6 years ago, and they were proclaiming themselves as,
with Michael Vick and
like Vince Young was saying they're the dream team.
Yeah.
But they got Janoris Jenkins from the Rams, Olivier Vernon from Dolphins, Snacks Harrison from the Jets. He's a big run-stuffing nose tackle that they brought in. He definitely won't be helping their pass rush. Got one-handed Jason Pierre-Paul. I don't think he's going to do anything this year. I don't know if it's going to be enough to help their defense. But it's kind of like with Washington, they got the offense to score a lot of points. So it might be enough.
Yeah.
The Giants, they had actually a pretty good draft class, too. They drafted Eric Apple, cornerback. They kind of reached for it.
Loved it, yeah.
I mean, Eric Apple, he's still going to be...
Eli
Apple, sorry. My bad, Eric Apple.
It's early.
Yeah, it's early in the morning. So Eli Apple, and then they drafted Darian Thompson, and then B.J. Goodson as well. And honestly, I think they might even have maybe even the best draft class in
the division?
East. Yeah,
okay.
In their division. Their draft class was pretty outrageous. To get all those players and Sterling Sharp and Paul Perkins.
Yeah, when Apple fell to them, I thought the Steelers were going to get Apple. I thought he was going to fall down to the Steelers. And then when the Giants, I was like, oh my, holy shit. Like,
I was kind of shocked they took him that early. He's still pretty raw. I think corner is kind of a tough position to...
Especially nowadays.
Yeah, because Trey Waynes was the number one corner taken last year, and he pretty much sat the whole year. But they also could afford to do that in Minnesota. But Darian Thompson, he's a ball hawk. Had 19 interceptions in college. Like broke the record for the Mountain West, which at Boise State. So not the greatest conference, but still, that's a lot of interceptions.
Yeah. Hopefully he can carry that over and to the NFL. You know, obviously he won't have 19 this year. That'd be... I couldn't even fathom a single person getting 19 interceptions in 1 year.
Well, it wasn't 1 year, but over his career.
Okay. That makes more sense.
Josh, who's the linebacker they drafted?
B.J. Goodson.
That dude, he's Clemson?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
They drastically need linebacker help. That's probably been their biggest weakness the last, 4 years.
Yeah, I can't think of anyone that's actually a leader on that defense.
No. They had some dude last year, they called him the Tasmanian Devil, because I don't think they could pronounce his name, but he had super long hair. He's like a Samoan dude. Was playing fullback, and they put him in as a linebacker because they were so desperate.
That's funny.
But
yeah, this is another team I didn't have too many notes on. You got the obvious people, OBJ. We have no idea what Victor Cruz is going to do.
Nothing.
Yeah, can he actually play a year without dying at some point? Eli Manning, I think we all talked about it a little bit earlier. He's super underrated. The highlights I ever see of him is throwing interceptions, but when you look at his numbers, he only threw 14 last year. That's not bad.
No, I'd take that any year from a quarterback.
So, do you guys see them improving above 6-10 or staying right where they're at?
I think they'll be better than 6-10. I have them at 500, but I think the top of the division with Dallas, Washington, New York is super close.
Yeah,
and it's all going to depend on their interdivisional games. I think the Eagles are kind of going to get be the whipping child of the division this year, as they should be. But this division's always crazy.
Yeah, I have them finishing at 9-7 actually this year, so that's where I got them at. Third in the division is where I have
9-7, third in the division.
Yeah,
that's a tough division.
Yeah, I have them 8-8, third in the division.
Yeah. So let's go on to the last team. What a disappointing year, because they had all the ingredients, and then everybody got hurt. The Dallas Cowboys finished the year 4-12. Tony Romo only played 4 games. Des Bryant played 9 games. Their running back, unfortunately, they let him go, and that system, even with the line that they had, he didn't do anything. Where do you guys see them going this year? Up? Let me start with this. Tom, because you're a Tony Romo fan, does Tony Romo stay healthy this year and play 14 games?
My number's 13. I think he's going to play majority of the year. I could see him getting a little banged up, but I think their running game's going to be a lot better this year. It's going to kind of be how it was in 2014 when DeMarco Murray was running the ball and they could kind of protect him. no one was really sending the hounds loose at them like teams were last year. Their defense scares the crap out of me, though. They got so many suspensions. Rolando McClain just got suspended. DeMarcus Lawrence got suspended. Randy Gregory got suspended. Sean Lee's a chandelier out there. He gets touched the wrong way and he shatters. Like, I love their Jalen Smith pick, but he's going to miss the whole year because of his knee injury. If he was healthy, I think their defense could be pretty phenomenal. Kind of reminds me of a black Luke Kuechly. Kind of could do everything out there, but he won't be playing. I really don't know how to judge Dallas. They're either going to be awesome or a train wreck.
Yeah, no, I'm in agreement with that because I think Jalen Smith is actually the best draft pick that they had this year, besides Zeke, of course. But he's going to be on the bench for all year because of that knee. But one good thing that they did was draft Malik Collins.
Yep.
Now, the thing is with him, he's a D tackle, but they're going to probably have to slide him out to D end because everybody else is in handcuffs. So,
yeah, they might have 2 starting D ends that are rookies. Because Charles Tapper, too, from Oklahoma. Yeah. He was their 4th round pick. Malik was their 3rd. But, yeah, their D-line right now needs some help. Absolutely needs some help. The only thing that kind of makes me feel better about this situation is in 2014, their defense sucked. But they're never on the field because they were running the ball like crazy, could control the clock. Their defense was always fresh, and it made them look a hell of a lot better. They're going to be able to do that this year.
Now, do you think they reach out to Greg Hardy again to come back to the team?
Good question.
They're hurting so bad.
I don't think they can.
I think his PR is so bad that
he was like slapping a coordinator. Like, what are you doing? Quit getting your fight with your own team.
Well, you pay the man so much money, he feels like he can do what he wants.
Well, he already thinks that way. I mean, it's a horrible story, but he threw his girlfriend at the time on a pile of guns and put one on her head and basically was saying, "I'm going to kill you." And then Jerry Jones, "Oh, that's a cowboy."
Well, now that we talk about like guns and accidents and stuff like that, did you guys hear about Zerlin Tipton?
Yeah. Killed himself.
Did you hear how he did it?
He threw a duffel bag down in his car, and then the gun went off. And
yeah, he was at the car dealership to get an oil change or service done on his car, and like picked up and put his duffel bag down and shot himself with the gun. That's crazy? Absolutely nuts.
Yeah, that's a weird circumstance. Okay,
safety.
Don't put a bullet in the chamber.
Yeah. Yeah, why are you driving around with 2 loaded guns in a duffel bag? Who's going to stop, pull over, open up the duffel bag, rummage through it, and find a loaded gun? Come on. What are we doing?
Some people, it's Darwin, right? That's why I want kids to stop wearing bike helmets. Let Darwinism weed out the stupid, you know? So, Des Bryant was hurt a lot last year, too. I don't like the good wide receiver, probably great wide receiver. They gave him the number 88 for a reason. I don't like him as a person. I think he's so talk. That's what he does. He yells, cries. He's the Cam Newton, but in more extreme. When he's really happy, he's so happy. But when he's losing, he's crying. And
he's so passionate. Sure. You're just mad because he caught that ball, and then those refs broke his heart, and he was upset.
That wasn't a catch.
You're making fun of him because of that situation.
I don't see him having many health problems, so obviously I think he'll play all 16, maybe 14 if something weird, ankle tweak or something, they want to sit him for a little bit. If Tony Romo goes out, can he have a productive year still under, what do they have, Kellen Moore?
Dak Prescott will probably be their backup.
Prescott will?
Yeah. I really don't think so. The whole Cowboys are relying on Romo staying healthy, and that offensive line is gonna be in charge of that. But Zeke Elliott's a great pass blocking running back. They probably said the best thing he did at Ohio State.
Pass block?
Yeah. So that could help a lot.
So he'll be in all 3 downs then.
Yeah, he's most likely going to be an all 3 down back. I'm just worried about them running him into the ground his rookie year.
Well, that was a question. I guess we go right into it because that's a question I have. Is Zeke Elliott was the 4th overall pick, and well, first let me ask this, because Todd Gurley was the first running back taken the year before. He didn't even play the whole season, but he still had 1,100 yards, 10 touchdowns, 21 receptions. Can Zeke Elliott match that?
He's going to do better than that.
Yeah, I got him surpassing that.
How many yards do you have him, Josh?
Man,
Just rushing.
I don't even know.
1,400.
1,400?
1,400 rushing?
Yeah.
Man.
If he plays 16 games.
Yeah, I guess.
Under that? That's
I think Run DMC had like close to 1,100 last year, and I think he's terrible. And that was with Romo out most of the year.
Yeah,
he used to be good.
He
yeah,
used to be good.
But that was without Romo. So
yeah, he was 11 yards shy of 1,100.
Okay. I'm not really worried about Zeke. I could see him leading the league in rushing, in all honesty, with how the NFL is today.
I need to remind you of a guy named Eddie Lacy.
Shut up. Well, they are going to run him into the ground and dump him.
Again, the one thing that Zeke has, he's got Des Bryant to take, some guys out of the box. Just like Eddie Lacy, he's got Randy Cobb.
Randy Cobb.
Randy Cobb.
So, I'm going to play a little devil's advocate here because there's a super happy thing of going to Dallas as a running back. You have that line. There's a proven that they love to run. But then you see what they did to DeMarco Murray. That they said, okay, we're going to give you 3 years. Oh, everything's going to be good. Then we're going to run you into the ground to the point where no running back has ever bounced back from and let you go. So it's super happy for the beginning of your career. I mean, the Dallas Cowboys, America's team. Well, America's second team. But
can't take a trademark from a team.
America's team. Jerry, I don't want to talk about Jerry Jones because that guy's a joke. He needs to get out of that front office.
Yes, he does.
But is he happy? Should he be scared for his longevity in the NFL? He only, running backs typically have 8 good years.
I think when you're at that level, I don't think you could be scared. Zeke's not going to be scared to go out there and touch the ball a lot. He touched the ball a lot at Ohio State, but they do have Run DMC. They got Alfred Morris. So I'm hoping they try to limit him to 20 touches a game. But let's say they go into overtime and they need him to rush the ball 4 times to win the game or something. I don't know, something like that. They're going to give him the ball to do that. They're going to throw that.
Oh, yeah. Overtime, you're going for the win right now. Elliott, get in there.
That's kind of what they had to do with DeMarco Murray. There were games where they needed to rush the ball. I remember the one Seattle game, he had 37 touches, which is absurd, especially against a defense that hits you like that. But
the fact that he didn't get hurt that year and miss a game he had an awesome way out. But it's a running back killing year.
Yeah, the one good thing about Zeke that I really like is the fact that he wants the ball. When he was at Ohio State and he was not getting the ball there, he said, I want the ball. And that's the main reason why he was actually leaving Ohio State and not staying another year, because he wanted the touches. He wanted to carry the load. He wanted to do what he could to help the team win, which is what I think going to be fantastic for, the Cowboys in general.
So do the Cowboys re-sign him, franchise tag him for 1 year and then let him go, or is that their future?
Who, Zeke?
Yeah.
Well, they're going to have him for 5 years.
Right. So at the end of when the
it really depends how he does. Running backs really aren't getting overpaid right now.
No,
even the best ones get $11 million a year.
Yeah, your average running back gets between 6 and 8.
Yeah. So I think he's going to be there for a while as long as he holds up. And
so Dallas resigns him?
If he's as productive as everyone thinks he's going to be,
right,
then I think he'll be a Dallas Cowboy for a while. Because they want to run the ball. That's why they've invested so heavily into that offensive line. They want to protect Romo. Romo won't be there forever, but he should be there for another 2-3 years.
I think he makes his career at Dallas. I mean, honestly, this is before he even touches the field. But if he lives up to the hype and lives up to having the offensive line that they have now, and if they continue to have that offensive line, there's no reason why you can't look at him and be like, all right, his career is going to be in Dallas, and maybe the last 1 or 2 he goes somewhere else. But there's no reason why not to believe that right now.
Obviously we don't know, but we're all putting our theories out there. All right. So that was good. Anything else you guys want? I mean, Dallas is we touched on their defense. They're maybe at Game 6 they can put it together when everyone comes back from suspensions and actually gets a rhythm going.
Yeah, they're going to need their young pass rushers to come back healthy, in game shape. DeMarcus Lawrence and Randy Gregory, two pretty highly talented players, both, I think, second-round picks. If they come back, get some sacks, put some pressure on the quarterback, Dallas can win the division.
Yeah, if they don't come out and start hot and win a couple games, they're going to have a long year trying to make up for those losses to begin with. They got to come out and at least, and what do they spend, 4 games each?
Yeah.
They got to be
at 10 games.
They got to be at least 3-1 before Randy Gregory and the other guy comes back. They have to be at least 3-1. Otherwise, they're going to have
uphill
a rough
battle.
time.
Yeah, uphill battle. All right. So let's we'll close it out here. Give me your complete rundown, Josh, of the division. Who you got winning? Who you got 1, 2, 3, and 4?
1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, I'm gonna have the. Where's my list? 1, I have the Redskins at 12 and 4 because I changed it from 11 and 5. 2, I got Dallas at 10 and 6. And then the Giants, I have at 9 and 7. And then the Eagles, I had at 4 and 12, but because we talked about them so much and I hate them even more now, I have them at 3 and 13.
Ooh, that's
bad. That's
bad. That's bad.
Yeah.
They don't even have a first-round pick next year, do they?
Nope.
That sucks.
Yeah. It's a really, whatever their GM was doing, that is a horrible. You're rebuilding.
Yeah.
And I just lost my first-round pick for next year.
The funny thing is, they're going to be at, like, in my opinion, 4 and 12 or 3 and 13, and they're going to be trying to win because there's no reason for them to tank, and they're just going to suck that bad.
Yeah, because they don't have a first round pick.
Yeah, and they're just going to suck that bad.
They're a bad team.
They're just a bad team.
Yeah, when you trade your first round pick the next year to get a quarterback, you kind of need him to take your team to the next level.
Usually when you do that, you already have your running back. You already have your wide receiver. He's like, okay, we're going to plug this guy in, and we're going to win some games.
Yeah,
because next year it doesn't matter. Next year matters for them.
Real quick, before I even go any further, this kind of made me laugh because I love America's Got Talent. Makes me laugh when I watch some of these people do it. So they had an episode, this past one, and there's a guy on there. His name was Dornbos. If you guys know who he is, he plays for the Eagles currently. He's played with them for 14 years.
Did he do the magic?
Yeah.
Okay, I saw
Yeah,
it.
so he's on there, and they're like, why would you do that? He's like, well, football doesn't last forever. No, he's on there because the Eagles suck this year. That's why.
Getting his magic right.
Yeah, he knows they're going to be that bad, and he knows he's not going to have a job next year, so that's why he's already looking ahead.
14 years. That's crazy.
Is he a long snapper?
I think so, yeah.
That's cool.
Even if you make the veteran minimum, which is, I don't know what they updated it to, but last time I checked, it was like $870,000. Because when the Bears cut their long snapper 2 years ago, everyone on the radio was all pissed off because he was making $800,000 as a long snapper, and it's the veteran minimum.
Yeah.
They had to give it to him.
Quit hating on him.
Yeah, but $870,000 to be a long snapper, that's the dream.
No,
Okay?
If I have a son, I'm going to teach him how to kick a football and
Long
snap
snap.
a football.
Yeah.
That's so valuable. No one focuses on it.
Adam Vinatieri,
Yeah,
you could be 40-something years old, playing in the NFL, just kicking balls.
Even
Especially
if your
now that-
kid's not that good, you could probably get a D3 scholarship.
Yeah, just
Oh,
go to the gym, leg extensions, squats.
If you're training them from like age 7 through high school, they're going to be freaking amazing at it. I love it.
So you're going to let your kid play soccer?
Probably.
Okay.
Just to learn how to kick.
Okay. There's one.
Don't even kick into the goal. Kick over the goal.
Yeah. That's your goal. That's your goal.
You're not scoring goals. You're aiming up there. That's what we're doing. So, oh, shoot, what were we doing?
Tom,
Tom, your breakdown. Thank you.
It's going to be a perfect year for Dallas. I got them going 11-5. Romo's going to stay healthy. They're going to stay above water while their defense is kind of all suspended.
Control that clock, like you said. Yeah. They can do it. Yep.
Yeah, Washington, the same record as last year, 9-7.
Not going to step up.
I don't think so. They could, but I just like Dallas's ability to run the ball. I think Dallas has the ability to sweep them. It'd be tough, though. This division's tough. I got the New York Football Giants 8-8. Like their offense. Not sure about their defense. Philly got them at 4-12. They're going to be terrible. Do not like them one bit.
Yeah, it's a rebuild year for them, and they're doing it the wrong way.
This is going to be the dark ages for the Philadelphia Eagles if Carson Wentz is not good.
They are now, I'm going to say it, they are now the Jacksonville Jaguars of the NFL. I'm sorry.
From a couple of years ago, right?
Oh, yeah. No,
Okay.
yeah. The Jacksonville Jaguars are on the up.
Yeah.
They're coming out of that horrible...
They'll be 7-9 this year.
That's still good for them.
Oh,
But
yeah.
they'll be better than that. But that's still good for them.
Goddamn Jaguars nut hugger.
I like a couple teams. The Oakland Raiders on the up. Not as good as Jacksonville, but Jacksonville, man, I'm telling you. Who had the best draft?
Giants.
I think we touched on it earlier. I think we all agree that the Giants did the best.
Well, this year the Giants. I think potentially the Cowboys could if Jalen Smith can get back to the level he's at.
Him. Yeah,
he's awesome.
Is he going to play this year?
No,
They
don't
are
think
sitting on.
so.
Yeah. Okay.
But he was going to be a top 5 pick. He might have been the first defensive player taken off the board.
I think he could have went number 1 overall.
He was amazing in college.
Yeah, it all relies on Jalen
Senior
Smith
Bowl.
and how he comes back. That's it. All relies on him.
Yeah, because if he comes out, I mean, oh man, he's a.
I mean, this year, honestly, you go with the Giants. Eli Apple, Sterling Shepard, Darian Thompson, B.J. Goodson, Paul Perkins. All those guys could be starters immediately. It's outrageous.
Worst draft? We didn't have to talk about it.
Yeah.
Eagles.
Yeah.
God damn.
And it really, they set himself up for next year to also win the worst draft. I don't know if that's a win, but
God, Eagles fans are crazy. They're gonna start killing themselves.
Oh, it's gonna be bad.
They're just gonna go to fight other fans who are there because
the city of brotherly love my ass.
They're gonna end up just saying again, who wants to come out for tryouts?
Yeah,
and then start recruiting people from the streets, and then we're gonna have goddamn Mark Wahlberg out there again.
So before we close it out, this is gonna be the last question of the day. If you had, obviously we're talking about the NFC East, you have to pick a quarterback that will lead, doesn't matter what team, you're starting a brand new team, but you have to have one of these quarterbacks to take you to the future. Who are you taking?
Man, it's funny because you shouldn't really go against Eli Manning because he has 2 Super Bowls. You shouldn't really go against him, but I'm going to go against him. I'm going to go with Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is going to be the future of the NFL.
You like that?
No, I think his running ability that he has around the goal line adds such a different element to his game, which is fantastic. But you also have to have him in the right system. Now, if you take him and put him in the system with Eli Manning's in, I don't think it's a good fit. If you take Eli and put him in the Washington system, right from the get-go, I think Eli could do fine. So it all really depends on the system as well. But the player that I like the best out of all of them is probably going to be Kirk Cousins.
That's the guy who lead your franchise?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Eli. I like Kirk Cousins. I think he has the potential to be a star in the league, but he's done it for 1 year.
Yeah.
He might suck next year.
We don't know.
First half of the year last year, he wasn't good. I know they changed their system a little bit.
He could suck, but he won't.
Well, Kirk Cousins is up for. He's either going to get franchise tagged.
He's franchise. He said he's going to play through it.
Well, yeah. Well, he is franchise tagged right now, but there was. I was reading it while we were talking. The deadline to make a contract is July 15th, so he's got half a month.
Yeah, they won't.
They're trying to get a long-term deal, but it doesn't. It looks like he's going to go through.
He wants a lot more money, and I mean, rightfully so. You had a huge career year last year, but you didn't do anything before that. Which is, I'm kind of contradicting myself right now, but he didn't do shit before.
Well, you're predicting him to have a big year.
Yeah, I'm predicting him to have a huge year this year.
If he has a great year, is he going to get a bigger contract than Luck?
No, there's no way.
He'll get a Colin Kaepernick deal.
No. He won't get a bigger contract than Luck, I don't think. God, I hope not, because that would be ridiculous.
No, there's no way.
I could see someone giving him that type of money. In all honesty.
Oh, that'd be insane.
I hope it's the Bears, and then he sucks as soon as it gets to Chicago.
I wish we would have talked about that last week when we think Jay Cutler was going to leave the team, but we didn't. That'll be a conversation. We'll have a nice episode in the future of when quarterbacks are done.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's going to be it for today. Oh,
no, I got one more thing.
Oh, go ahead, Tom.
till December 2021, Andrew Luck's going to be making $43,241 a day. Fuck you. I love you. That's bullshit. All right, I'm done.
Spread the wealth.
And actually, I got one last thing. We didn't have a bet this week, but I'm going to say I won the bet, and I'm going to go on my rant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
So, all right.
Yeah, no bet.
So
But I'm going to go on my rant. I'm going
Josh-
to let Mike do the sign-off, and then I'm going to go ahead and go on my rant.
So everybody knows, please follow us on Twitter and SoundCloud at Pony Sports. We try to upload a podcast every week, and now that we have our technical difficulties figured out, it's been working a lot smoother. So follow us on Twitter and SoundCloud at Pony Sports. You'll get a notification when we upload a new episode.
All right. Here I'm going to go with this. I'm going to touch back on base with the NBA and their godforsaken contracts. How you're going to pay bench players $50 million and LeBron James is not even touching what some of these other guys are making blows my mind. Yeah, he's getting his contract or his t-shirt money and his shoe money and this and that and blah, blah, blah. But then now you have NFL players who are nowhere even close to that. You have guys like Eric Ebron that are, I think he played college basketball. He's talking about going back to playing basketball now because of that. That's crazy. Something's got to be done to either lower that cap or raise the NFL cap. There's got to be an equal playing field on the money. There's no reason why one league should be paying outrageous money, contract-wise, $153 million for a guard that is good but not great. And then you have somebody like Antonio Brown who's making, $8 million a year? The best wide receiver on the planet right now? That's crazy. I'm done.